Alright, welcome back to episode 2 of Porch Talk, brought to you by Uncharted Adventures, the basement's official sponsor. Hey, we actually have the EIN number now. We are actually getting a little bit more official. But let's jump into episode 2 of Porch Talk with Coach Andrew. I realize it is Wednesday of this week, and I have not wrote the script for this episode. So we're just going to wing it. We just got done doing the actual Meet the Generals at Montcalm High School. It was my first debut on the mic in front of a live crowd of that size. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Getting over your fears, getting over your stage fright, getting over public speaking. And how can we do that? Well, a lot of you guys that don't know me from here or know me here within the last couple years, be like, Andrew, you're not scared to talk in front of people. That's not true. So let's go ahead and jump into it. When I was in kindergarten, we're just going to go a huge history lesson here of Coach Andrew and on how I used to be versus how I am now and how I got to be where I can just talk in front of people, talk in front of the camera and be completely fine. So we're going to go all the way back to kindergarten. Your boy, born in San Angelo, Texas, moves over to Montcalm, West Virginia. I start talking. They realize that I'm not pronouncing words the way I should. Some letters I can't pronounce correctly. So your boy was placed in speech classes and taught. And you'll catch it every now and again. I'll pronounce words certain ways it shouldn't be, like the F's and the THs. I kind of mess those up every now and again. But I had to do speech class. I remember sitting in school and we was reading out loud, and I would literally count each kid and then count down the paragraphs in the book to see which paragraph I was going to have to read, and I would read it about 100 times before it got to me. Kind of a precursor to saying I had anxiety as well, but you know, that's a different thing. But that's how scared I was to talk to people. Then I get into my freshman year of college and I'm having to take a speech class, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. And they're like, you got to do it. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. So I went to speech class. I'd done everything, aced the class until I got to the last project where they was like, all right, you're going to get a speech. This is like 25% of your grade. And I'm like, so can I pass it without doing it? And I'm like, barely. I said, can I pass it without doing it? And they said, yeah. So I no-showed. I did not go to that exam because I didn't want to talk in front of people. I was scared. I was terrified. So I'm going to talk about my career, but I'm not going to talk about my career because I can't really say where I work. But I can say I was working in a position where I had to talk to people, but didn't really have to talk to in front of a group of people. But I noticed that I was getting stale. I was getting stagnant in my job and in my life. I didn't want to do that no more. I wanted to do something different. So I started watching this one type of job, kind of like a treatment type job. A treatment officer, if you will, type of job where they had to get in front of people and teach and facilitate and lead a group of 100 people. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to apply for that. And then I got to thinking like, Andrew, you're scared to death to talk to people. How are you going to get in front of all these people and talk to them if you're scared? So I didn't apply for it that time. I talked myself out of it. Some bigwigs from the capital of the state that I work in, the Commonwealth, come in and I was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go introduce myself. I said I'm gonna do it, and I went over there and shook their hands and I said, hey, my name is Andrew O'Donnell. This is me. And I got that little bit of confidence, and I started forcing myself to say hi to everybody, no matter who it was. Hey, how you doing? My name's O'Donnell. How you doing? How you doing? So then that position come back available. I applied for it. I didn't want to talk in front of everybody. They'd get up to, they'd be like, all right, man, it's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn. I'm like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. And then one day a guy was like, hey, you got to do it. So I got up there and I just forced myself to talk. And I was like, well, this ain't too bad. I mean, it's horrible. They're not going to know if I'm messing up. They don't know what I'm talking about. And then I forced myself every single day to get in front of these people. Every single day. And just keep doing it. And then I started facilitating programs where I would just go out there and teach it. And I'd sit there and I'd memorize that entire lesson, go in there, and feel like I just completely did horrible. But I continually pushed that adversity we talked about on episode 1. That's what I'm talking about. I was scared of talking in front of people. I was terrified of the whole, possibility of talking in front of people. I couldn't do it. I would shut down. I literally used to bite holes in my shirt when I was a kid whenever they called me up to give an award, to get a trophy. I just couldn't do it. And, I just got to that point in my life where I was like, I'm going to force myself to do it. So I dropped out of college actually because of this. I went back to college, got my bachelor's degree. Me and Drew started talking one day. He's like, let's do a podcast. I'm like, Drew, I don't know about that, man. Like, I really want to. I said, but I can't talk in front of a camera, much less in front of people. And then I was like, you know what? I do it already. Let's do it. So I got to talking in front of a camera with me, Drew, and Hunter. Great. Well, then my wife Emily's like, let me record you doing something one time. So I did, and then I see her staring at me from the backside of the camera, and I'm like, oh, this is hard. This is really hard. Like, what if I mess up? She's going to judge me. And then I realized they don't know if you're messing up. You're going with the flow. If you just keep going with it, it's fine. You can correct yourself. So now we got invited to be the voice of the Montcalm High School Generals football team. And I'm like, oh, this is great. This is what I always wanted. But now that fear is setting back in. That fear is coming back of public speaking, the anxiety and everything. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this. Don't know. And then I got another message to do Meet the Generals. And I'm like, this is my chance. Let's see if we can do it. And I got up in front of everybody, had Big Drew with me. He was sitting there keeping me on track, showing me where to read. He'd point out stuff and I'd read it all. Perfect teamwork right there, perfect teamwork. And, I started out stuttering a little bit. Started out a little scared. By the time I got to the last team, buddy, it was just rolling off, boom, boom. And, I'm not doing this to brag or anything like that. Nothing like that. I'm just saying, if you have that fear of public speaking, make yourself do it. You can never succeed in life if you sit there and be comfortable or stagnant. If that's the way you're going to be, you're never going to get to that next level. Force yourself to be uncomfortable, because that uncomfortability is going to turn to comfortability real quick. Because as soon as you start to fall into it, that confidence will build. It is me just saying, I can remember all the way back to that one point of me just saying hi and shaking hands to people every single day, making eye contact. Even if they don't say anything back, I still made that eye contact and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? My name's Andrew. How are you? How are you? That little bit of stuff built it up to the point where I can get in front of people. I got into in front of a crowd of at least, I'd say, 125 people today. No problem. You can do it. Force yourself to be uncomfortable. Force yourself into the unknown, because you don't know what's out there for you. Is this going to become a career for me? I don't know. I would love it to be. I would love to go into this. However, right now, baby steps. I'm starting right here. We're going to start doing that PA work. I'm going to be doing a PA work for the Montcalm Little Generals midget teams. I'll be doing it for the Montcalm High School football team. And we may be doing live coverage for the Montcalm Generals basketball team, high school team. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed impromptu episode 2 of Porch Talk with Coach Andrew, where, remember guys, it's my passion, your entertainment. I hope y'all have a great day, and as always, it's the basement where it's top level content from the lower level. Like, subscribe, share. I hope y'all have a great day.